Hey Sam, happy Sunday. I'm gonna be very quiet because I don't want to wake up the parents. It's very late at night and they've been sleeping, and I don't want to be the worst. I've been back for a while now. A few days, sort of my last video. It's been very nice. Lollipop's been very cute. My bed is very comfortable. Today we celebrated a mini little Seder. Passover is not for another few days, but I want to be back for that, so we did it now. Generally fairly fun being back. The one fairly annoying thing is that apparently the parents trying to have guests over in a few weeks, and they kind of want them to stay in my room, which I'm very much not a fan of, because I'm a very big fan of the idea of my room being like mine, sort of in perpetuity, and I very much don't like the notion they're gonna start using it as a guest room. Yeah, man. I don't fully know how to win this argument, so it is what it is. Perhaps if you come up with any wise ideas, they may be appreciated. I guess last time I promised you the story of my statistics exam, didn't I? Okay, well, the basic story is, so for my statistics class has 2 midterms and then a final, right? And so for the first midterm, the teacher sent out, I think, like 3 emails, 2 announcements, put it on the lecture slide, and mentioned it in like 4 classes in a row. For the second midterm, he put it on the schedule. He may have mentioned it in class, but he didn't put it on the lecture slides, and I didn't even show up to class, so it wouldn't help very much. And I sort of expected, a fairly similar level of announcement to the first exam, which really didn't end up happening. And so on Thursday, I showed up to class, like 20 minutes late, just in case to take attendance that day, and I just saw everyone was quiet, and I'm like, wait, why is everyone silent? And then I realized they're taking the midterm. The midterm was that day, which was an issue for many reasons, actually. The first of which being I hadn't studied at all. In fact, I hadn't learned any of the material for this unit. I was planning on basically cramming the entire material in like the night before the exam. So that didn't happen. So I sort of went in completely blind. Second, the exam was at least partially open notes. We could bring in 2 pages of notes to the exam. So obviously I didn't have those. And third, you're already calculated for the exam, which I clearly also didn't have. Now, the calculator was that big of a deal because the question really required one, but the not having notes and not having studied and being 20 minutes late were much bigger deals. And so it was one of the exams of all time, and I did fairly miserably on it, at least compared to my typical performance. Okay, so like for comparison, I got 123% on the first exam. I probably got like a 70% on this exam, which is much worse. But I guess it doesn't actually matter because I just need, as long as I get like a 70% on the final as well, I will still get an A in the class because, well, 123% on the first exam plus perfect on the homeworks means I have a decent amount of buffer left, but that was a interesting time. I could talk to the professor, after the exam about it. I was like, so, I told him the story. I think he found it funny. And I was like, so what happened if I just like completely missed the exam? And then he said we probably could have worked something out, which means that realistically, I probably should have just completely, like the second I realized if I actually known the exam there, I probably would have skipped the entire thing. Because surely he probably would let me, let me make it up the next week or something with some minor, maybe a 10% grade deduction or something. Which is probably still better than the 30% I lost from not knowing any of the material. But the fact that I managed to get, like, a C on the exam, I probably got, like, a C, or maybe even a B if I'm lucky on the exam, having not learnt any of the material in the last, like, 2 months, like, the entire unit the exam was on, is still fairly impressive on my part, I gotta say. I was fairly proud of myself for this. Obviously, really disappointed in myself for getting myself into this situation, but I did make the best of it. Okay, I guess that's all the time I have for you in this video, Sam. The state of the world's still miserable, we're still at war with Iran, the stock market's still, looking a smidge disastrous. Oh well. Perhaps tomorrow the world is suddenly going to be fixed and all the wars will be over, which would be very exciting, but I doubt it. Okay, Sam, I will see you on Wednesday on this channel, and hopefully I'll see you in like a month in real life as well. Bye, brother.